Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, if you are able, I ask that you please rise. At this time, I am pleased to introduce this morning's mace bearer, Dr. Michael Carroll, Associate Professor of History in the Faculty of Arts and Science. Dr. Carroll is carrying the university's mace, which was donated to the university in 1997 by its namesake, Dr. Grant MacEwan, and became the official mace in 2008. It is especially meaningful to the university as it was hand-carved by Dr. MacEwan. Further information on the mace and other convocation traditions can be found in your program. Please remain standing now for the academic processional.
Graduands, distinguished guests, members of the stage party, faculty, staff, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mike Sekulich, University Registrar and Marshal of Convocation. I begin our ceremony today by recognizing that we are gathered on the traditional lands and waters of diverse Indigenous peoples. Please remain standing and in respect, remove all hats except mortarboards for the singing of our national anthem led by Ms. Haley Tomich. Thank you, Ms. Tomich. Please be seated. I declare MacEwan University Convocation open. It is intended to honor our 2016 graduates. We are honored to have you with us here on this occasion. The word convocation comes from the Latin word convoco, which means to call together by summons. It is traditionally used in connection with an ecclesiastical or academic gathering. Convocations are called for the conferring of degrees, diplomas, certificates, for special announcements, and for the recognition of outstanding achievement. So it is today that we call colleagues and friends together to honor MacEwan University's graduates and award recipients for Spring 2016 Convocation. I would like to call upon the student member of our Board of Governors, Ms. Danika McConnell, to read the MacEwan University invocation.
Through learning, we flourish and help others to flourish. We stand here today on the brink of important change for ourselves and for the world. Inspired by the past, we now step forward to transform the future. Engaging with others, we cherish the diversity of experience within our communities and ourselves. Through perseverance, we excel. Through compassion, we connect. Through creativity, we thrive. Through knowledge, we grow. Through all of this and more, let us forge a legacy to nurture, to inspire, to endure. Moved by this spirit, strong in our knowledge, we move out into the world with open arms, open mind, and open heart. We pledge to leave the world better than we found it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McConnell. I will now introduce members of the stage party. Members of the stage party, I would ask that you remain standing once you've been called upon. And audience, I would ask that you please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. I would like to start with Board of Governors Chair John Day, President Dr. David Atkinson, Provost and Vice President Academic Dr. John Corlett, and Academic Governance Council Vice Chair Mr. Chris Hancock. Would members of our Board of Governors, Vice Presidents, and Associate Vice Presidents please rise? And now I'll ask the Deans, Associate Deans, members of the University Administration to rise. Representatives of each of our associations, faculty, staff, alumni, and student, please rise. I'd like to ask our Mace Bearer, Convocation Speaker, and distinguished guests to stand and be recognized. Will our distinguished proctor, Dr. Eddie Kachuk, Associate Professor, Faculty of Arts and Sciences, along with all faculty and staff of the university, please stand. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your stage party. This is your university. Please join me in a round of applause. Thank you. You may be seated. I would like to invite Board Chair John Day to bring greetings on behalf of MacEwan University's Board of Governors.
Thank you, Mike. Well, good morning, everybody. As Chair of the Board of Governors, I have the very distinct pleasure of welcoming all of you to MacEwan University's Convocation ceremony. This is a privilege I look forward to each and every year. There's no greater honor than being able to take part in these ceremonies, which are always moving in one way or another and inspirational always. I'd like to welcome each member of the platform party, our distinguished guests, our award recipients, our faculty and staff, and most importantly, the class of 2016 and your families and friends. I'd also like to acknowledge two board members that are present with us today, Dana McConnell and Myrna Fife. So thank you for coming. Today is a day for reflection, for celebration, and excitement as you graduate from the Faculty of Arts and Science. And we're delighted to be able to share it with you. I also quite a fantastic turnout from Arts and Science today, and it's really wonderful to see. I've been honored to be part of 34 convocations during my term as board chair, and during that time I've congratulated some 8,000 students as they've crossed the stage. I do appreciate how complex people's lives are, and for some of you, the journey to this point has involved unbelievable challenges. Your walk across the stage, your stories, your accomplishments will stay with me long after my time at MacEwan. While I'm nearing the end of my term on the board, I'd like to look back for just a moment to 2010 when my journey started. Those were early days for MacEwan in its life as a university. The board, the administration, the faculty, the staff were all anxious to move forward with buildings and new degrees and new program offerings. The changes since then have been remarkable. One of our goals has been to consolidate our programs in Edmonton City Centre, and we're just 15 months away from this happening. When the Centre for Arts and Culture opens in September 2017, all of our students will be in the downtown core. The next major project will be the Students' Association, led by our very own students, and we're very proud of them for it. A great deal of progress has been made on the new SAMU building, and we hope to be breaking ground in the spring of 2017. Not quite there yet, but we hope to be there. I'm a big proponent of Edmonton's downtown, and these new buildings show that the university has been extremely successful in anticipating the needs of our students and what will work for the city of Edmonton. Our degree offerings have evolved as well, matching demand from our students with the needs of Alberta's employers in the public, the private, the not-for-profit, and creative sectors. And we've done this in a measured way, making sure we have capacity that matches interest and need, then growing programs that build on our strengths. Our bachelor degree programs in communication studies, social work, psychiatric nursing, and music are perfect examples. And there's much more to come very soon. Health promotion, design, fine arts, justice studies, and early childhood education. We know that this approach has paid off. 2 years after becoming a university, we gained AUCC designation, the gold standard for Canadian university programs, which puts us on an equal footing with universities across the country. I might say as a board, we are quite well involved in that AUCC process, and it was not an easy thing to get AUCC designation, but we were led by a great president, David Atkinson, who guided us through that process, and without him, I don't think we would have been able to be successful in getting the AUCC designation. So thank you, David. Universities are complicated places. Expectations are very high, and it takes a great deal of skill and expertise to guide a university to greatness. The Board of Governors is such an important part of this process. It's critical to have board members who bring very specific expertise to the governance of the institution and reflect the diversity of the faculty, the staff, and the students. I've been giving some thought about what makes MacEwan a special place. For me, it boils down to relationships. Relationships between the board and the administration, between the faculty and students, and between the students themselves. We've worked hard to protect class sizes, and this sets us apart as an undergraduate university. It creates unique opportunities for you and your professors and instructors to know each other, to learn and to grow together, and to develop ties that will endure. Class size is a foundational piece. It's essential to MacEwan's success, and one that I hope the next board chair and administration will work very hard to promote and to protect. Our focus is always on the student experience, and with each new initiative, we ask one question, really just one. What will this mean for our students? I'll give you one small example. As the great new Centre for Arts and Culture building is being built, we realized that it was going to be a long, cold walk for our students, and not connecting it to the rest of the university would have been really unfortunate, particularly if you had classes at the other end of the building. So we needed to make sure the new building wasn't isolated, so we moved things around, found some money, and now Pedway will link the new building to the rest of the city center campus, and we know the students will appreciate that. Imagine the atmosphere on campus once we integrate our amazing arts community with the rest of the university. To be able to go to a lecture, to hear a jazz performance, a live band, wander through the latest installation by our visual artist. It'll be a great environment. It'll enrich the MacEwan experience for all of our students, broaden our horizons, and spur creativity in all of our programs. And just as important is the chance to cheer on the Griffins. Last month, MacEwan became the 17th full member in the Canada West Athletic Association, and just 2 weeks ago, we were voted in as full members in Canadian university sport. It was not an easy thing to get into the big leagues. But it does put many of our teams in the big leagues right where they belong, and our athletic program is rising to the challenge. Women's basketball had us all on the edge of our seats with their incredible year winning the Canada West Explorer Division regular season championship and making it to the Final Four. Women's soccer wasn't far behind with a trip to the Final Six. We all celebrated with them and are already looking forward to next season. When Rogers Place opens this fall, the MacEwan hockey program will have a home in the community arena built as part of the new development. A home rink for our hockey teams, just past the east end of the campus, with a sea of maroon and white in the stands. This will be a big deal for MacEwan University. One of the things I'm asked is whether I have any advice for students. You can be sure that your time in the Faculty of Arts and Science has given you skills you'll need to succeed. No matter which discipline you pursue, you know how to think, how to learn, how to analyze, how to write, and how to tackle something new. You are problem solvers, and your MacEwan degree or diploma will help open doors whether you decide to enter the world of work or to pursue graduate studies. What will set you apart? In my experience, it all boils down to this. Show up every day. Focus on being a good colleague. Treat everyone with respect and civility. Be honest and ethical in all your dealings. It's simple, but there are times when it may be the last thing you feel like doing. My challenge to you is do it anyway. Make it part of your core values. I can guarantee you it will matter. Show up, be a good colleague, treat people with respect, be honest. And hand in hand with this is the reward that comes from you turning your gaze outwards from your university studies and your job. Look outside your own circle. Explore what the community has to offer. I can say that after many years of volunteering, that you will gain a richness of experience and the ability to see what is really important in your life. This sense of community is what I remember most about my time in the MacEwan University Board of Governors. It makes this institution great. And it's wonderful to see that the spirit is yours as well, that you're drawing from your learning to engage with the world in meaningful and constructive ways. I've worked with many teams in my life, and by far the most rewarding experiences are really never individual achievements. The memories that last are team accomplishments. I must say that I've never been on a team of 19,000 people before, but this is exactly how I remember my experience with MacEwan over the last 6 years. We are all teammates, and I know of no other team like it. This makes MacEwan a very special place. Before I close, I'd like to acknowledge and thank a few people. My colleagues on the Board of Governors have been an exemplary board, really the very best board I've worked with the best mix of skills and commitment to sharing with the university. The administration, you're an outstanding team, dedicated to both academic excellence and effective stewardship of resources. Our President, David Atkinson, has been our leader and has been the catalyst in our academic evolution, for which we are all truly grateful. I learned a great deal from our president. The faculty and staff, one word, amazing. MacEwan University and our students would not be where we are today without you. I want to single out one member of the administration, and that's Margot Batista, the board secretariat. Margot, I absolutely could not have done this job without you. Thank you. And finally, the class of 2016, who represent the very best MacEwan University has to offer. The university, all the people on the podium, and your family and friends are here because of you. It is your day, and the rest of us are your community, ready to cheer you on as you walk across the stage and to enter into the next chapter. I wish each of you great success in your careers and in life. We aren't ending our association with you today, we're evolving it. My hope is you'll be proud alumni and help us build an even greater future for MacEwan University. On behalf of the Board of Governors, congratulations to the class of 2016.
Thank you, Board Chair Day. I would like to invite MacEwan University President, Dr. David Atkinson, to address this morning's graduates.
Distinguished platform party, members of faculty and staff, ladies and gentlemen, friends of MacEwan, and always on this occasion, most important group of all, our graduates. Welcome to Convocation for the Faculty of Arts and Science for spring 2016. Convocation is when we celebrate the achievements of our graduates and when we pause to reflect on what their accomplishments mean. It is also an event when we recognize those who have contributed to our broader community. And as well, it is the event when we thank all those who have supported our graduates. Friends and family deserve special recognition for the assistance that you have afforded. And it is when we express our appreciation to all members of the MacEwan community for their efforts on behalf of our university and especially on behalf of our students. Simply put, it is the institution's most important celebration, probably in many ways its most important day, when we set aside those day-to-day challenges to recommit to our core ambition to be the very best at what we do and to celebrate it. Yesterday, we took the time to thank our outgoing board chair, John Day, who has served the institution with distinction for the last 6 years. I would, however, be remiss if I did not, at this convocation ceremony, again recognize all that he has done for MacEwan. His leadership, his guidance, and his commitment to this institution have been exemplary. On behalf of us all, thank you, John. Notwithstanding the trials and traumas of history, the university has remained a dominant and potent institution that, even after 1,000 years, enjoys a pride of place in our community. And as a new university, MacEwan is just now finding its place in this remarkable history. And while we might not be Paris or Oxford or Harvard, we share in the same aspirations for our students, and especially today for you, our graduates. You are part of this historic continuity. Universities began as teaching institutions where our collective culture and traditions and values were protected and cultivated and passed on from one generation to another. And it is this role which even today people most identify with universities. Only in the 19th century did universities become institutions committed to research and innovation, and this over time has become an ever more dominant role for the modern university. In the modern university, though, the two are clearly integrated. Research informs teaching, the assumption being that you, our students, are entitled to what is new, to what is cutting edge, and to what is creative. Equally, the questions that you ask in class inspire our faculty to find answers and explanations. And finally, we are all connected here, faculty and students alike, in the act of learning. But it remains that universities are so much more, and that the demands placed on them today are ever increasing. Never in history has so much been known and available to be known as today, a click away on Google. The challenge to master this information and to use it for the general good is increasingly the primary goal of a university, suffusing and influencing everything we do both inside and outside the classroom. We at MacEwan aspire to provide you, our graduates, with an education that, yes, leads to a good job, and one that allows each one of you to live a good life. But we must also assert our role as an institution committed to the social good. We must work to make the world a better place. Yes, we do this in what we teach and what we research, but MacEwan and you, every one of our graduates, must embody and express in your actions this responsibility. It is this which we specifically charge you. Attending university constitutes an enormous privilege, and with privilege comes responsibility to give back, to return to society what it has given you, to ultimately help shape society and the world beyond. We should take pride in what MacEwan represents and how it puts its students first, recognizing as we do that you are the true agents of change. We must also celebrate its implicit commitment to the values of its namesake, Dr. Grant MacEwan, who exhorted us to make the world a better place than we found it. We must celebrate its broad commitment to sustainability and the general recognition that we must, in everything we do, put the health of the planet first. We must celebrate its commitment to implement the recommendations of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, its leading role in heightening awareness of sexual harassment, its commitment to being an inclusive community that welcomes all and provides a supportive place for everyone here. But more than this, we take pride in how the MacEwan community, in examples big and small, expresses these values. We can, of course, talk of the opening of our residences to evacuees from Fort McMurray, and to the efforts of faculty and staff and students to make them feel welcome in what was surely one of the worst moments of their lives. Like so many others in Alberta, MacEwan stepped up because it was the right thing to do. Or we can talk about those who work constantly to help those in situations of need and deprivation. The faculty and staff who spontaneously came together in response to the Syrian refugee crisis. Our student union with its own long-standing program to support refugee students. Or we might point to the 27-year history of MacEwan's Ukrainian Research Development Institute, who has done so much to support the development of nursing, inclusive education, and democratic reform in Ukraine. Our students constantly volunteer in the community, and we should reflect with special pride on their efforts, whether it be the MacEwan ambassadors or our own MacEwan athletics teams. Project Hope, which stands for Hands Open to People Everywhere, began as a MacEwan student initiative and is now its own not-for-profit, which raises money and sends students to work in projects in Latin America. Now, while we can celebrate our successes, there remains much to do. The university must continue to pursue its efforts with respect to Indigenous peoples, and it is appropriate that we stress this priority at today's convocation, held as it is during National Aboriginal Week. Similarly, while the institution has done much to be environmentally sensitive, to be a sustainable campus, there is much more that needs to be done. Universities, MacEwan included, must take a leadership role in addressing the single greatest challenge of our generation. Universities for many years existed behind cloistered walls, the assumption being that they were protected from the negative influence of the outside world. This has all changed. And we must ourselves, all of us, be agents for change. This is the task which MacEwan sets for you, hoping as we do that you leave MacEwan with a heightened commitment to the social good. Now today, we recognize the graduating students of the Faculty of Arts and Science. Arts and Science which will always sit at the very center of what the university represents. Arts and science is about knowledge. It's about discovery. Knowledge and discovery in the interests of all. You, our graduates from the Faculty of Arts and Science, signal a commitment to knowledge in its purest form, recognizing that it is only from this that everything we need in the world can come. It is only through knowledge that we can make confident, knowledgeable decisions. The British poet T.S. Eliot remarked on one occasion that the purpose of education is to help us escape, not from our own time, for we are bound by that, but from the intellectual and emotional limitations of our time. And surely this is central to the arts and the sciences. What you have learned over the last few years is a means to step outside of yourself and to embrace the remarkable possibilities ahead. So today, we might remember President John F. Kennedy's observation that what we seek to advance, what we seek to develop in all of our colleges and universities are educated men and women who can bear the burdens of responsible citizenship, who can make judgments about life as it is and as it must be. This is the highest ambition. But having said this, take the time today with your family and friends to celebrate what you have achieved. We are enormously proud of you. We do ask, though, that you remain part of MacEwan through our Alumni Association. Don't forget us. A degree is something which keeps on giving. And we wish you well for the future, because, of course, your success is our success. And we ask that you commit to improving the world and the community that you live in. There is so much that depends on it. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Atkinson. I would like to now call upon Dr. John Corlett, Provost and Vice President Academic, to present the MacEwan University Medal of Excellence.
Morning, everyone. James Marsh, would you join me at the podium, please? Canadian author Terence M. Green said, "Canada is an interesting place. The rest of the world thinks so, even if Canadians don't. We have not always been good at telling our story of nationhood to others or even to ourselves, and that is why the remarkable life's work of James Marsh means so much." Beginning his career as a social science editor, he established himself as an authority in Canadian history and social science as the editor of important projects such as Canada, Unity and Diversity, and the Carleton Library series. He is an author in his own right, with works about Canada ranging from the historically quintessential fishing and fur trade industries to the evolution of the province of Alberta. In 1980, Mr. Marsh was chosen in a national search to come to Edmonton to take the prestigious post of Editor-in-Chief of the Canadian Encyclopedia. He envisioned Canada's first comprehensive encyclopedia in many decades, and his leadership of 40 staff, 400 consultants, and several thousand contributors took this ambitious project to fruition to rave reviews in 1985. He oversaw the publication of 2 subsequent print issues of the encyclopedia, never one to miss an opportunity to promote Canada's history. In the years prior to his retirement in 2013, he oversaw the creation of digital and mobile versions, reaching new generations of readers of our country's story. The MacEwan University Medal of Excellence is awarded to individuals outside of MacEwan University's community whose achievements make exemplary contributions to academic, social, economic, cultural, artistic, or political life. James Marsh, for your remarkable contribution to Canadians' knowledge of our history and to ourselves, and for being a key force behind the rise in interest in Canadian studies in Canadian universities, we are pleased to present you with the MacEwan University Medal of Excellence. I have something for you. There's a medal, and we're going to do a photo opportunity that way.
Chair Day, President Atkinson, Dr. John Corbett, thank you, university administrators, graduates, faculty, families, and friends. This is a touching ceremony for me. I never had the satisfaction of donning a cape, crossing a stage, and accepting a diploma. I was a truant and a clown in my own school career, though I managed to cobble together degrees in history and art by focusing on what interested me and by ignoring the rest. I was born into an alcoholic family and was often fed, clothed, and rescued from violence by neighbors. My early friends and school teachers would be scratching their heads should word reach them that not only was I not incarcerated somewhere, I had been awarded a medal. When I arrived in Edmonton in 1980 to become editor of a new Canadian encyclopedia, I began a journey not unlike the one you enter today, full of opportunities and uncertainties. Faced with a challenge one reviewer later called the intellectual equivalent of building the transcontinental railway, I recognized immediately how unprepared I really was. Despite all my reading and all my experience as an editor, as our project unfolded under intense pressure of deadlines and expectations, our team discovered in one another the diverse attributes of success: trust, a love of language, a passion to get things right, a persistent sense of humor, and above all, embracing change. It's hard to believe that when we started our project in 1980, we were still using thousands of index cards as a database and dozens of typewriters to enter text. We sent tens of thousands of letters and spent hours with contributors on the telephone, talking. Computers were like science fiction in those days, but we were persuaded to consider their possibilities by some nerdy prophets at the university. We were thus the first reference work in the world to use computers to assemble articles in an electronic database, and we were the first to deliver the text on the internet a year before Wikipedia. Be prepared. Your world will stagger your preconceptions as well. Fortunately, you're very well equipped with some 86 billion neurons between your ears, beyond any computer, the true wonder of the universe. My early disadvantages have made me appreciate this country all the more. No matter how much private privilege and wealth there was around, in contrast around me, our community provided schools, libraries, museums, concert halls, playing fields, and universities to enrich my life with music, literature, science, sport, and art. There were mentors to encourage me to write, to read, to explore the unknown, and to find poetry and dreams. An English teacher who had expelled me twice from her class appeared by my hospital bed when I fell ill and gave me a book of poetry by John Keats, which I still treasure. Since my retirement 3 years ago, I have taken a course from Tennis Canada and qualified as an instructor to teach tennis to children in a program called Little Aces. I am ceaselessly amazed looking into the earnest faces of 6 or 7-year-olds who are trying to learn a very difficult skill. I'm often asked, Coach Jim, how am I ever going to get good at this? In my heart, I've asked myself this question 1,000 times. You might be faster, stronger, or better coordinator, but without an attitude that you want to try again no matter how many balls you miss, you'll never improve. Not everyone has it. One little kid asked me after only 5 minutes into each lesson, Coach Jim, how much more of this do I have to take? The main thing that I have learned is that every hopeful player is different and needs a different encouragement, including me. If you saw me play, you'd shake your head and say, how much more of this can he take? I've been urged to offer you some words of wisdom today, but I'm keenly aware that each of you is unique and that it would be presumptuous of me to tell you what you need to see you through. So I will leave you not with my words, but the words of the French writer Marcel Proust, who wrote, "We don't receive wisdom. We must discover it for ourselves after a journey that no one can take for us or spare us." Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Marsh, for your humorous, personal, thoughtful and reflective insights. I would like to now invite Dr. Corlett, along with the Academic Governance Council Vice Chair, Mr. Chris Hancock, to their respective podiums for the presentation of graduands and conferring of credentials.
Graduands, if you are able, please rise. On behalf of the faculties and schools of MacEwan University, I present these graduands and those named in the Convocation program who are not able to be with us today. I ask that they be pledged and admitted to the MacEwan University degrees which they have earned.
Thank you. Graduands, I'm going to ask that you now join me in the MacEwan University Graduate Pledge, and just remind you that it's a pledge, not an oath, and that you're going to express to us your purpose of accepting or not, and I hope you're going to use your most enthusiastic outside voice. So the question is, will you pledge yourself to use the knowledge, experience, and the skills that you've gained at MacEwan University to serve the community and the world faithfully? I will! Excellent. This is the good part. So by the virtue of the authority vested in me by the province of Alberta, and upon the recommendation of the Academic Governance Council, I admit to you the degree to which you're entitled and invest in you all the rights and the privileges and the responsibilities pertaining to that credential. Now I bestow upon you this credential as a solemn trust to transform, to engage, and to improve the world from this day forth, to teach and to learn from others, so that through your learning, we all may flourish. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, Dr. Corlett and Mr. Hancock. Now I would like to invite Mr. Raymond Buree, Assistant Professor of Music, to say a few words.
In honor of our first graduating classes of the Bachelor of Communication Studies and Bachelor of Music in Jazz and Contemporary Popular Music in the spring of 2015, a competition was held and 2 pieces were written by music students and were selected to celebrate this milestone. These compositions are a lasting legacy, and the intention is they be played from that day forward at our convocation ceremonies. The first piece is by Andrew Reid. It's called Memories, and the second is called Nothing Can Stop Us by Sean Bessie, which will be played at the end of our ceremony today. I ask that you follow along in your programs with the words to Memories.
All of these moments so we could say
Thank you, Mr. Burry and the MacEwan University Big Band, and to the students who created this lasting legacy for our university. And now, our marshals will usher the graduates to the stage. The MacEwan University Big Band will play as the graduates are being assembled.
That you weave so well. Those icy fingers up and down my spine. Same old witchcraft when your eyes meet mine. The same old tingle that I feel inside. And when that elevator starts to ride, and down I go, around and around I go, like a leaf that's caught in the tide. I should stay awake, but what can I do? I hear your name, and I'm aflame with such a burning desire that only a kiss can put out the fire. For you're the love I have waited for, the mate that fate had me created for. And every time your lips meet mine, darling, round and round I go, around and round I go in a spin. I'm loving the spin I'm in. I'm under that old black magic called love. Loving the spin I'm in. I'm under that old black magic called love. Under that old black magic called love. Under that old black magic called love. Got me spinning and spinning and spinning around like an elevator going down in that old black magic.
Applause for the MacEwan University Big Band, folks. We will now commence with the individual presentation of our graduates. We would like to remind you that if you wish to take photos of your graduate, please come to the area at the right of the stage as we approach your graduate's name on the program. An usher will assist you to ensure the smooth flow of people in and out of this area. With the exception of those taking photos, we ask that you remain seated during the presentation out of respect for all graduates and their families. Offering congratulations to each graduate, our board chair Day, Mr. Hancock, Dr. Corlett, and the faculty's dean. Dr. Atkinson will present each graduate with their credential on stage. He will be assisted by Associate Registrars Mr. Tony Norad and Ms. Michelle Fraser. Off stage, to your right, is Jed Johns, alumni of MacEwan University. Mr. Johns will present each graduate with a gift on behalf of MacEwan University alumni. And I would ask graduates to return to their seats after receiving their credentials. And now, I call upon Dr. Craig Monk, Dean, Faculty of Arts and Science, to present graduates.
Good morning. You will have experienced this morning something of the importance of convocation to an academic community. I'd just like to take a moment to acknowledge my colleagues seated behind me, continuing, probationary, and limited term, for their embrace of this event in our developing academic community. You inspire me every day. You are the best of what is MacEwan. Speaking of inspiring, see what I did there? I now present to you the following candidates for degrees in the Faculty of Arts and Science.
And now presenting graduates receiving the Bachelor of Arts. Ali Marie May Alm. Alexis Jane Anderson. Mackenzie Lauren Anderson. Alexa Shannon Archer. Joshua Paul Armstrong. Mark Alain Ashford.
Yachna Ati. Kristen Nadine Ballet. Courtney Michelle Ballantyne. Timothy James Barker. Danika Raylene Barr. Brandon Kyle Bastarash. Graham Reginald Bellier. Kristen Anne-Marie Bergenstrom.
Carling Whitney Berquist Terplowy. Melissa Nicolette Boisvert. Alora Dawn Inez Bolstad. Ashley Lynn Bone. Jessica Marie Bradley. Jasmine Corrine Ann Bretty with distinction. Corey Kieran Brown. Jameson William Busick. Jesse Burgess. Charles Edward Carlson. Megan Taylor Carruthers.
Maria Carissa Ria Castillo. Harrison Kyle Caulfield. Eves Abnasan Shakapna. Wreath Carlin Charlesworth with distinction. Amina Shahade. Alexandra Cecile Cheney. Deanna Michelle Clements.
Sage Raven Rincon Cooper. Neil Cameron Kramer. Monica Tricia Cruz. Elizabeth Ann Dirksen. Andrea Elizabeth Deshay. Alexandra Rachel Despin, with distinction. Lindsay Marie Driol. Matthew Curtis Duke. Carly Marie Dunsmore. Nikita Nina Iglinski. Desiree Angel Elderkin.
Krista Jean Engel. Evan Richard Erickson. Chantel Michelle Fillion. Gregory Charles Fitzgerald. Katarina Friesen. Rachel Catherine Gould. Ghanshyam Singh Babu Gaurisunker.
Cindy Jean Green. Kelika Dawn Green. Andrea Marie Gay Colpitz. Melissa Margot Halama. Andrew Kelly Hall. Sean Roderick Ham. Stephanie Barbara Hampel. Jonathan Kyle Harleen. Kuchinga Bakita Hassan. Harjot here. Camille Abby Hendrickson with distinction.
Holly Frances Hendrickson. Nicholas Alexander Hillaby. Shreen Sadiq Ismail. Jillian Marie Jackson. Hamoon Jahan Roshan. Jeffrey Courtnall Scott Jacobak. Eric Johannes Jansen with distinction.
Scott McArdle Jennings. Toby Sam John. Angela Lucy Johnston. Julia Rose Johnston. Benjamin Joseph Keys. Leah Helena Kurluk. Sonia Lalita Kisun. Danielle Ashley Cohen. Raylee Deanne Kruger with distinction. Reese John Kruger. Daniel Joseph Krzyzanowski with distinction.
Magali Laguna. Wai Fun Lam. Jennifer May Larrabee. Jeremy Layton. Sarah Ann Latosky with distinction. Ting Liu. Lindsay Meredith Long. Gabriel Ka Ho Luke. Joshua Lowell Maurice McKay. Sarah Mackenzie.
Noor Edine Magnawi. Michael Joel Maisonneuve. Carla Marie Malik. Camellia Ray Manchur. David John Marcus. Adam Stewart Matheson. Alexander Kevin Matheson. Asha Lauren Mayers.
Tyler Brian Thomas McAlpin. Ryan Stephen McDonald. Sydney Vanessa McHale. Chelsea Louise McNeil. Jillian Taylor McNeil. Jillian Elizabeth Mercy. Alexandra Cherise Mohi. Kelsey Lynn Moir. Sarah Allison Marie Moorhouse. Eric John Mosley with distinction. Lorraine Kapinga Muamba.
Ashley Ray Munn. Courtney Lee Murphy. Lucas Benjamin Neufeld with distinction. Keaston Will Lawrence Odell. Roger Osinski. Jiwon Park. Duncan Ross Parliament with distinction. Pamela Dawn Parson. Chandra Sherry Pastachuk. Brandon Zachary Pettit.
Devon Amy Pichette. Andre Gonzalo Perez with distinction. Kimberly Page Plume. Teresa Irene Poirier. Mark Joseph Pushchak. Chelsea Lynn Quist. Tessa Lynn Rode. Lauren Elizabeth Royacres.
Darren Patrick Roussel. Creighton Robert Corey Russell. Oriana Maria Ildina Salvalaggio. Reem Soraya. Sydney Lynn Sheloff. Devin Jan Simpson with distinction. Rupinder Kaur Singh. Graham Powell Smith. Joshua Henry Smith. Spencer Terry St. Ange. Kyle Douglas Stephenson.
Anastasia Ida Caroline Stewart. Brian Jason Stewart. Megan May Streamer. Chase Kendrick Stubbs. David Matthew Sumantri with distinction. Justine Rose Sakura. Adelina Tam. Ella Rose Tan. Jessica Elaine Tannehill.
Tiana Darlene Tenney. Cassandra Dawn Thew. Eric Emilien Thompson. Georgia May Tucson. Celine Isabel Lucy Vaillancourt. Jenna Mary Varghese. Bradley Wall. Cassidy Reese Dally Wallace. Ashley Christine Walton.
Yifei Wang. Chandra Lee Warwa. Bailey Lois Ruth Wassing. Jonathan Ian Wharton. Tegan Chase Whiteside. Dylan Jared Wedje Anatna. Kayla Devon William. Kylie Marie Winterholtz. Jennifer Kathleen Wirren.
Megan April Waleshan. Suji Yang. Candice Dawn Yetz. And lastly, Ruby Zaidi. And now presenting graduates receiving the Bachelor of Science. Jennifer Rose Abotsaway. Chelsea Alyssa Akins. Mohammed Alzaban. Robin Samantha Anderson.
Sheena Marie Anderson. Miriam Atiki. Robert Donald Babiak. Ji-yoon Bak. Puneet Bardwaj. Jennifer Ann Bodel with distinction. Robin Elizabeth Bourret Reeves. Tatiana Brakos. Chris Catherine Cree Buffalo. Jessica Elaine Crompton with distinction. David Alexander Crowder.
Ni Dai. Ruben John De Jesus. Liselle Devet. Christopher Clemens D. Scott Ritchie James Dean. Danielle Marie Delorier. Brooke Kristen Dolan. Marika Andrea Domingo. Sean Dooley. Erica Suzanne Dupereau.
Gerald Jordan Dykstra. Colin Grant Ellingson. Abby Caitlin Iwashak. Eno Laura Eo. Catherine Suzanne Farmer. Taylor Fawcett with distinction. Samantha Nadia Bedema. Bong Chu Jiang.
Sean Kenneth Glavin. Jasbir Greywall. James Robert Gruen. Nafa Hadu. Krista Hilker. Wilson Kai Wei Ho. Evan Earl Hollenbeck. Lindsay Nicole Horosco. Sanya Fatima Hussein. Taylor Elizabeth Hutchinson.
Lauren Johanna Heibrechts with distinction. Carrie-Anne Louise Ibsen with distinction. Christian Kohler. Jessica Aurora Colody. Jessica Carol Ann Koski. Catherine Holly Lepak. Josie Marie Dawn Liskey with distinction. Marcus Elliott Litchfield with distinction. Dylan Charles Robert Loader.
Vanessa Marie Loveseth with distinction. Keegan Daniel Eric Lauer. Marcus Damian McCann.
Good job, Marcus.
Jacqueline Grace McCutcheon with distinction. Winter Lee Breeze McDougall. Aileen Allison McIntosh. Paul McLaughlin. Jennifer Laura Meyer. Natalie Marinek. Kyra Taryn Mickey.
Ernesto Santos Moreno. Katie Maury. Bushra Nasser. Haley Joanna Peacock. Stephen Raymond Pershilo with distinction. Khalida Rashid with distinction. Dana Jean Teresa Redwood.
Way to go, Dana. I did it!
Kimberly Lee Ray Rossman. Andrea Hannah San Pedro.
Gurpreet Kaur Sandhu. Bradley Allen Scales. Ryland Arthur Short. Preet Sihota. Jessica Lynn Sperber. Deanna Carey Steckler.
Way to go!
Heather Lorene Stevenson. Erin Allison Stoneley. Corey Allen Svatos. Adam Thomas Ritchie Sykes. Farah Mohammed Terabain with distinction. Caitlin Victoria Thompson.
Jeffrey Randall Toth. Lindsay Catherine Vigneault. Alana Morgan Bowell. Samantha Doris Wakno. Yang Wang. Jameson Rodney Edom Wickens with distinction. Timothy Mark Willadaw. Carla Ann Wilson.
Kashina Ann Wilson. Alexander William Worthy. Byron James Wiley. Alhan Yazdani. And lastly, Rizel Rennie Yu.
Having shaken a couple of hundred hands, many of which were slick from excitement or anxiety, I now have 3 extra rings, 2 bracelets, and a watch. I'll add those to the scholarship fund. I present to you those graduates from the Faculty of Arts and Science unable to be present, whose names are listed in the program.
Thank you, Dr. Monk. Before proceeding, we'll just wait a few moments for our graduates to return to their seats. This concludes the presentation of our graduates this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause acknowledging our graduating class of 2016! presentation of student awards will begin with the Dean's Medal for Academic Excellence for the Faculty of Arts and Science, and I invite Dr. Monk to present this award.
Dean's Medals are awarded in the Faculty of Arts and Science to graduates who have achieved the highest graduating grade point average in their class. One award may be granted in a certificate or diploma program, and one award from a degree program. This year, the distinction goes to a student described by his professors as highly conscientious, bright, and hardworking. His work with us included independent study, field study at Alberta Hospital, and design, administration, and analysis of original research, disseminated broadly beyond his own department. Having returned to school after several years of employment, he demonstrates a commitment to advanced inquiry and lifelong learning that, in all likelihood, will take him next to graduate school. This year's Dean's Medal for Academic Excellence in a Degree Program in the Faculty of Arts and Science is awarded to Daniel Joseph Krivanovsky, a graduate of the Bachelor of Arts program with a major in psychology.
Thank you, Dr. Monk. I'd like to now call upon Dr. Atkinson to present the President's Medal for Academic Excellence and Student Leadership.
Nice box. The President's Medal for Academic Excellence and Student Leadership is presented to a graduating student who best represents the values and ambitions of your university. It recognizes a graduate who stands out among their peers, one who has an outstanding record of academic achievement, has furthered the reputation of the institution, and who has worked diligently to make the university and the community a better place. In recognizing exceptional performance, the President's Medal identifies a student who is a role model by which others can test themselves. In many ways, it is the most important student recognition MacEwan can extend to a graduating student. I am pleased today to award the President's Medal for Spring 2016 Convocation to Ashlyn Munn, who graduates with an honors BA in psychology. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to make Ashlyn stand there for a while and talk about her. Her exceptional work ethic and commitment to her studies has extended far beyond her own coursework, and she has proven to be a skilled and passionate researcher whose work is recognized well beyond MacEwan University. More than this, her approach to her work embodies the highest values of scholarly endeavor. Concerned with issues of social justice, especially as they relate to removing barriers, Ashlyn completed an honors thesis focusing on empowering people with mental disorders and reducing stigma. She has presented her work at the annual convention of the Canadian Psychological Association in both 2015 and 2016. Ashlyn was a resident assistant, volunteered for student and departmental initiatives, and was an exceptional teaching assistant for the Department of Psychology. As a student teaching assistant, she was viewed as a leader and role model by the students that she assisted. And she earned a TA award from the Council of Canadian Departments of Psychology and will be receiving a Certificate of Excellence from the Canadian Psychological Association for the quality of her thesis manuscript. Ashlyn is respected equally by her peers, her professors, and her community. Her dedication and work ethic and academic excellence embody the best values and spirit of MacEwan University, and it is my pleasure to honor her academic and leadership achievements with the President's Medal for Academic Excellence and Student Leadership.
Thank you, Dr. Atkinson, and congratulations to Daniel and Ashlyn. A round of applause for our student award winners!
Join me at the podium, please. Dr. Shaw. The writer W.H. Auden once said that a professor is someone who talks in somebody else's sleep. It took a while, but it gets it. Not here, not at MacEwan. The mission of MacEwan University is to provide an unparalleled undergraduate education. Our faculty dedicate themselves to their students in a way that is frankly all too rare in the modern post-secondary educational system. Teaching excellence is everywhere to be found at MacEwan University, and yet each year, even in environments suffused with outstanding teachers, there are professors who, according to their students and their faculty peers, rise above even the high standard that we set. Recipients of a Distinguished Teaching Award connect with, engage, and inspire students in the learning process, create a positive learning environment, use innovative teaching methods, and model professional attitudes and values. Among this year's 4 winners of a Distinguished Teaching Award is Dr. Ross Shaw from the Department of Biology in the Faculty of Arts and Science. For Ross, his teaching is about taking students outside their boundaries in creative ways, but providing the personal support they need to enjoy exploring those new territories. And that is the very essence of the world of science. For his outstanding contributions to science education, student learning, and to making MacEwan University a very special place for undergraduate study, please join me in congratulating Dr. Ross Shaw. But wait, there's more. Could I ask Dr. Rob Hiltz to join me at the podium, please? Each year, MacEwan University presents to one member of our faculty the Dr. Cheryl Brown Distinguished Research Award. This prestigious honor recognizes excellence in research or creative activity that makes a significant contribution to society and the scholarly community locally, nationally, and internationally. We don't release this information often, so don't tell anyone, please, but many of our MacEwan University professors have superpowers. For Rob Hiltz, it's the ability to time travel. all the way back to the very earliest moments of the creation of our solar system. His lifelong passion for all things space began as he watched, fascinated by the Apollo lunar landings on television in the late 60s and 70s. Today, as a faculty member in the Department of Physical Sciences, his research sheds light on the conditions that existed in the earliest moments of our solar system's formation and provide insights into how life might have begun on Earth some 3.5 billion years ago. After completing his PhD in inorganic chemistry at the University of Victoria, Dr. Hiltz embarked on a very successful research career studying transition metals, things like iron, manganese, and copper, and also the chemistry of phosphorus, nitrogen, sulfur rings. And no, I actually don't know what any of that means. He might still be studying these important chemical elements and compounds and adding to his 36 peer-reviewed journal articles in these areas. But on January 18th, 2000, at 8:43 in the morning, a large meteoroid exploded in the Earth's atmosphere over northern British Columbia, spreading fragments over a frozen Tagish lake. These fragments, the products of an observed fall to Earth onto a pristine environment on an ice-covered lake in the middle of a cold winter and collected in their frozen state, are the best preserved and uncontaminated space stones in the world. And they are housed here in Edmonton. And Dr. Hiltz, since 2007, when he began this new and exciting research endeavor, has been a key part of the study of these stones through his work on the design and the commissioning of a cold curation facility to conserve the Tagish Lake meteorite for scientific study. These ongoing investigations allow Dr. Hiltz and his colleagues to travel back in the solar system's history to its very origins, to study the conditions that existed when our planet was created and when life first evolved. It is important and world-class research that is followed closely by a global network of remarkable scientists. Based on his experience and expertise, sharpened by a decade of collaborative space research, as is so often the case at MacEwan, Dr. Hiltz now works with MacEwan undergraduate students on the analysis of his own recently purchased carbonaceous chondrite, an example of the most primitive space stones with which we share our place in space. This gives him a chance to further share his passion for space research with the inquiring young minds of MacEwan's next generation of students. And it gives our students a chance to be part of something truly internationally remarkable. For his long and outstanding career as a scientist, and for his dedication to MacEwan's unparalleled commitment to putting our science students on the cutting edge of modern knowledge, please join me in congratulating this year's winner of the Dr. Cheryl Brown Distinguished Researcher Award from the Faculty of Arts and Science, Dr. Robert Hiltz.
Thank you, Dr. Corlett, and congratulations to Dr. Shaw and Dr. Hiltz. Now I would like to ask Mr. Jed Johns, alumni representative, to provide a welcome to you, our newest members of the MacEwan University alumni family.
Well, after making a million big and little decisions these last few years, each of you has arrived at the same place, here at Convocation. For that, I congratulate you and welcome you to a new reality, one where you join the ranks of over 53,000 MacEwan alumni who made those same decisions and who are now building cities, running businesses, leading nonprofits, and advocating for what they know is right. As a recent alumnus myself, there are two things I want you to know as you leave MacEwan University. Be relentless in your pursuits. Be that pesky, annoying, ever-persistent person you know resides deep inside you. This is how you achieve your dreams. by always getting back up when life kicks you down, and by always refusing to let others dictate your path. The second thing is to always keep an open mind. Watch for those opportunities that may seem innocuous or come out of left field. And this is the point where I was going to make a reference to Machiavelli and the relationship between fortune and virtue. However, instead of butchering his ideas and offending the political scientists in attendance, I think I saw Dr. Murphy in the back here, I'm going to quote another great philosopher, Alan Jackson. Well, it's all right to be a little bitty, a little hometown or a big old city. Might as well share, might as well smile. Life goes on for a little bitty while. Words to live by and take with you. Words to live by and take with you as you start your new journey. Remember to carry the lessons you learned and the family you found here at MacEwan University and take those forward with you. And also don't forget to come back and visit. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Johns, for that warm and humorous welcome to our new alumni. This brings us to the closing moments of our ceremony, after which alumni and their families are invited to join us for a celebration in the foyer. At this time, I would like to invite all graduates to express their appreciation to the people who have supported them through their educational journey, and to help them do that, I would ask the faculty members to please rise. Faculty members, please. Graduates, a round of applause. And of course, your friends and your family helped you on this journey. And so I'd ask the friends and family of our graduates to please rise. Friends and family, rise. You probably need to stretch after a couple of hours of convocation, but please rise. Graduates, a round of applause. And of course, Convocation is all about our graduates, and so in turn, I would like to invite our audience, faculty, and staff to join me in congratulating our graduates of 2016! Board Chair Day, I would like to invite you now to close Convocation.
Well, congratulations to each of our graduates. We know this is a special day, and we encourage each of you to celebrate its importance with your family and friends. Allow me to express on behalf of everyone here appreciation to all the MacEwan University volunteers who helped to make this such a fantastic success today. All of us at MacEwan University are exceedingly proud of the achievements of each and every one of our graduates. I think we'd all agree this has been an event to remember. I now ask that everyone please stand and remain standing during the playing of our legacy recessional composed by Sean Bessie, and kindly wait until the graduates have left before the performance chamber before you exit. Mace Bearer, University Registrar, will you please lead the recessional? I hereby declare this convocation closed.